also negotiations, also lobbying. We do a lot of lobbying in the corridors. We speak to ministers here. We rush to hotel rooms and try to see whether we can get access to heads of state. We put in, you know, through corridors, we put in little notes to highlight key things that we want pushed in. So at different levels, I'd say at international level, we try to push at a very high level to push the agenda of what the key issues that the women have brought out. At the regional level, continental level, we try to push that agenda. So we do a lot of lobbying. We try to form alliances amongst each other. Because if we are on our own, it's difficult to get a voice. So we come together as a common voice, push our agenda, do lobbying, negotiations. One person goes to speak to this person. We have high-level people, as I've mentioned, in our membership, and we use them also to help us to identify and to speak to those people. We use them as champions. We identify champions. So we do a lot of groundwork underneath that you cannot see. So where we have the information that in our reports or in our shadow reports that come from our member organizations, that something is not happening, or the women themselves come out and say, this is not happening, we use that to say, really, for example, in Central Africa, these are the key issues that are coming up. This is what the women want. And we try to find ways of pushing these agendas, which is why we usually have the GIMAC on the margins of the AU, because that is where we have the central access and the central opportunity to make sure that some of our messages gets through to the heads of state. Not all, sometimes it's not always successful, but in most cases we're able to push communiques, and which was how I have highlighted some of the key achievements that we have been able to make. First is trying to make sure that they accept and acknowledge and agree. And the second is also to monitor what they say they're doing. And as civil society, our role is on the ground to make sure that the citizens themselves start taking ownership. Sometimes the government cannot do it all, and they will not. But it's the people for themselves to also take it, because it is a right, it is their right. So how do we make sure that the people themselves are aware of what is available and demand their own rights at the country level? So these are some of the mechanisms that we do. And we do a lot of, you know, getting influences at different tiers and at different levels, based on where our strengths are and who we know that we can help us to form alliances.
Can I add? Okay. For instance, I can say that WILDAF, working with women farmers, what are we doing to be sure that they have their farm, they work, they have crop, they sell, they have money, they take care of themselves. Our entry point is the women's right. We teach them the law, we teach them how the provision we have under the regional instrument, national instrument. Let them know that they have rights, they have all the human rights that are recognized, and teach them also how to advocate for their rights. They have to go back in their community, let other people in the community, not only women, but women and men and leaders, know about women's rights. And when somebody is facing, for instance, a problem, they help this person to overcome, to demand for his right or her right. And when they have to know also, for instance, for agriculture, about the policy. We are talking about CADEP. We are talking about National Investment Plan. They have to know what is available in the country and go to the government, go to the local government, saying that you are supposed to help me to have land, to have access to technology, to have this and this. And doing that, at the end of the day, they take care of themselves. They will no more be there asking for other people to help them having food and so on. This is, for instance, a kind of what we can do at the national level, at the grassroots level, to be sure that women themselves get involved. We are trying to take their voice at regional level. When it's possible, Oley tell us, we bring them themselves, but we are there to ensure that we are on the right track. It's what I want to add to what Oley said.
Just one last response, and I think we will call the conference to an end. Thank you.
And when we talk about empowerment of women, one key strategy that we've been stressing all over the years is education of women. Education of giving the girl child a chance to go through school, not to primary school, not to primary level, but to stay in school and be able to acquire the knowledge and get the skills that they can use to really empower themselves. We talk about affirmative action, we talk about equal representation. If women are being married off at 14 or being taken out of school, there's no way that they're going to have the opportunity to be there, next to their male counterparts to participate in the development of their countries. Again, sexual and reproductive health and rights comes into this. We know how young women are dropping out of school because of unwanted pregnancy, mostly imposed on them by their elders, by their teachers, by their head teachers, by their uncles, and so on. And so, talking about this, having access to safe reproductive health services also helps to keep women and girls in school so that they can attain their potential, full potential, as equal partners with men.